And we are live. Hello and welcome, everybody listening, to the episode 8, I believe. I need to keep writing down the number, episode something, of the Stingers Up podcast. And of course, I am your host, as always, Christopher Beamon. And with me is the awesome, the electric Sage Beamon. Sage, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be there. Hey to everybody listening. How's it going?
I hope they're doing good. I know that this will probably come out after Thanksgiving, but nonetheless, I know spoiler, we are recording this before Thanksgiving. I know I'm feeling super excited about Thanksgiving. Hopefully when everyone's listening to this, they've had a good Thanksgiving and they're very full of food. But are you looking forward to your awesome meal tomorrow or your
So excited.
festivities?
I cannot stress enough how excited I am. And this is why. Let me tell you why I'm excited, though.
There you go.
This Thanksgiving is unlike any other. Why? Because it's being done Sage style.
Ooh.
So I'm not going to go home for Thanksgiving because due to the pandemic, I realized that it's safer for me to just stay where I am and not unnecessarily travel. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, that means I get to cook my own turkey. That's a chance for me to have a non-dry seasoned turkey for the first time in my life. So I went out and I bought a turkey roast. It's a turkey breast roast. So I'm cooking that. But I'm doing like the full 9 yards.
Nice.
It's me and my roommate who are still here at the student living.
Gotcha.
And I was like, well, I'm going to go in. So I'm doing the stuffing, homemade green bean casserole, the 2
doing
pumpkin pies in the oven as
works.
we speak. The works, the full
it.
9, Sage the Sage style. It's happening. It's going down. And I'm just glad and I feel blessed, honestly, because I get to have this opportunity to do that. And I'm not going to be too sad about it either because I'll be able to Zoom my family, pop in, say, hey, what's up with them?
Yeah, and I was going to ask, I presume then you'll kind of be Zooming, like you mentioned.
Yeah, we're Zooming. We're
nice.
Zooming.
There you go.
So it'll be a good old time. And then, you know what the cool thing about Zoom is that if we start an argument, I could just leave the meeting. And
man, has some Wi-Fi issues, weirdest thing.
All of a sudden,
folks.
the connection is stable.
You kind of have to start making those static noises, like, it's cutting out. I'm going through a tunnel, and then you just like click it off.
I have the little fake recording of the lagging internet, so it sounds like I'm trying to talk. So I'll just play that and then kind of let it fade out into the sunset as I leave the meeting.
I love it. Reminds me of like the final scene of what was it, Boys in the Hood, where Ice Cube walks across the street and he just kind of like fades off into nothing.
Literally that. That'll be me tomorrow.
Dude, I'm down. I feel like I've had way too many of those moments. But that's awesome. That sounds like a great Thanksgiving. Are you going to get like, I mean, I think the cool benefit of that on top of being able to prepare your own food is you can have like your own music going on and you like get your own atmosphere.
No, literally.
You're like
exactly that.
Just
handcrafted
like
for me by me.
There you
go. The best way to be thankful.
And that way you don't have anyone like getting displeased with the stationery or the settings of the table. You're like, no, it's
nobody likes the speaker hater, the person who doesn't like the music you're playing. Nobody likes that. But I don't got to deal with that, Chris. I'm gonna just play what I want to play. Might play a little Christmas music, might not. Might play some pop or anything.
Yeah, you got to set up like a whole playlist. That way it kind of transitions, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you got to make it synchronized with the food.
By course.
Yeah, you're like, so this song is going to go for this food item and then you're like, all right guys, finish this course, and then you hit next, and then it goes to the next song. And
literally that.
Nice. Great it's a paired playlist. You could probably make some decent money with that. Start selling food like meal packages, and it has a little playlist that goes with it.
I could see that happening, and I could see people really getting into it.
You'd be like, I just can't eat my food without a paired playlist anymore. Yeah. It just seems bland.
It gives the ambiance, you know.
It is. It's gonna be like a sixth element of flavor.
I was gonna say you shouldn't just be seasoning your food with seasonings. You should be seasoning it with your ears and the music too.
I love this. We need to make a video of like a mock video of how to cook using a proper paired playlist. No, this is great. But no, that sounds cool. It sounds like you have some pretty good Thanksgiving plans. You seem very excited about it, which is awesome. I know these days, just getting excited about, I don't know, just the little things. And I guess the big things. Thanksgiving is not a little thing. But
I don't know. I think that Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that we could and should skip. But due to me feeling peer pressured by the world, I'm going to celebrate it and have a good time.
I do agree that it is something of we probably don't need it. But at the same time, I I don't know. I love food personally, so it's like, man,
Same.
I don't need an excuse to like
Right?
just eat
Like,
delicious stuff for a day or 3.
that's the only reason I'm willing to celebrate, Chris, because I'm like, okay, somebody's cooking. I'm in. Like, sure, I'll be there.
I'm like,
But
just
think about
yeah.
it. Out of all the holidays, Thanksgiving is the one holiday without any songs and without like any movies besides Charlie Brown's
It's
Thanksgiving.
true. Yeah, you're not
That
like, hey,
shows that
I'm
it's
going to
not
go
a
see a
real
Thanksgiving movie
prominent
today.
holiday,
True.
you know?
True. So I think what you're saying is there's an open market available where
Yeah.
you and I need to start making. We can call it Veloy. He's our music liaison. See episode 2, but we can get Veloy on board and we can make some Thanksgiving songs. We'll come out with the first Thanksgiving album,
Totally
maybe the
down.
second. I'm sure somebody has one, but it's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not gonna be as good as ours.
But you know, me being me, Chris, that Thanksgiving song would quickly turn into some sort of like terrible, sad song about how Thanksgiving is actually misconstructed.
Well, no, it'll be an album, so it'll
Oh,
move
I
you through it. First, we'll start off with little traditional like turkey talk music,
Yeah.
and then we'll go into the misconstrued, and then we rope them back in with some like pie music. You know what
I
I mean?
like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Call it like whipped cream or something.
Yeah, and then you have to have like the
Combination.
turkey lullaby at the end because everyone's all
Yeah.
sleepy from eating too much food.
No, right? You know,
Yeah.
because yeah, we
I'm
might
liking
be onto
this.
something there,
I'm
Chris.
liking this. In fact, we're gonna have to close the podcast early. We need to get started on this.
We got to get in the studio.
Yeah,
Wrap
Thanksgiving
it up.
is tomorrow. We only have like 5 hours. Now people know when we're recording, but no, that sounds cool. I know I'm definitely excited to eat a bunch of food. I'm gonna be hanging out with my immediate family. They all live in Sacramento.
Great.
So we're gonna do like a nice little I think it's gonna be like 4 of us. So hopefully not a crazy super spreader event type deal. I mean, we all have +20s, so we'll see how it goes.
And you know what's funny about the spreader comment is I went to Costco yesterday just to grab some pizza, and I saw
Delicious.
people with 3 large pies, and I'm like, that's really suspicious. That's weird.
You know that the person's just like, that's their excuse, is like, oh, I swear I'm just having a super spreader, and then they're gonna go home and they're just like, all this pie is
They're
for
masking
me.
their pie addiction. My strange addiction. Costco's pecan pie.
I can't judge on that. In fact, I'm not even mad. In fact, I'm kind of impressed. Nice. No, tomorrow should be fun, and like I said, a good, nice welcome break, not only from the semester, but just just everything really.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy...
A chance to gather around some food and talk about anything but the underlying fate of the world.
Yes. I just want to talk about the fate of the food, as far as consuming it goes. Maybe not the rest of it. So nice. So yeah, definitely good to have you on the show. So I guess going over to other stuff besides Thanksgiving, I know we could probably just talk about like pie and turkey. We
could spend the whole episode talking about pies, whipped creams, and more.
The downside about that is I would probably end up eating all the food like in the fridge tonight because I would be I'd be like, I can't wait now. It's like a Christmas present. You're like, it's there. I gotta unwrap it.
Yeah.
So actually, before I jump off from that, I know you mentioned you were making a pie. Is it a pumpkin pie right now? You currently have one?
A dairy-free pumpkin pie, Chris.
Dairy-free pumpkin pie. So what would be the normal dairy in a pumpkin pie?
Heavy whipping cream.
Oh, okay. So what did you use instead of it?
I used Silk dairy-free heavy whipping cream. Silk, please sponsor me. Love it.
There we go. Silk. We will accept sponsors anywhere. So definitely throw some of that Silk money. But nice, delicious. So spoiler, folks, if if we have a random unexpected pause in the recording, it is pie related. So
pie might call my name.
Pie might call the name. You have to answer the call of the pie. It's just kind of the law in this land. So how has your semester been going overall? I know you mentioned earlier that the week's been going pretty good for you, but how's just your semester been going?
I feel lucky, Chris, because my semester's been going great.
Nice.
I enjoy my classes. Disappointed that not all of them decided to lecture and honor the times that were given for our schedule. But regardless, the topics I'm learning and studying are delicious. I love reading about them. I love researching them. So I'm having a good time.
Nice.
The
We're gonna
Zoom fatigue
describe.
is real though. So like
Yes.
I'm like tired and I'm exhausted, but I'm
Yes.
having a good time while doing it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it's different because I feel I know back in the before time, I could just be at school all day, lecture after lecture or something. You know, you do like I only get 10 minutes in between, you're going back and forth, and you're like, man, I could do this all day. Like I could do a 15-hour day, not blink. You know what I mean? You're like, it wasn't nothing. And now
Chris,
it's like,
we
man,
really did that.
yeah.
And now two meetings in, and I'm like, it's time for a little nap.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I remember during training over the summer when we were getting ready for orientation, we'd go through and we'd get that lunch break and I'd be like, all right, guys, I'll see y'all in an hour. And then, kid you not, it'd be like, take that off, polo shirt off. And I'd be like, all right, set the alarm for an hour and just pass out. The Zoom fatigue is hardcore.
During training for orientation, any second we got where it was like, take a break, go stretch your legs. It was me full sprint ahead to my bed, doing the dive into my bed and just laying. At one point in the summer, my back hurt so badly that I took those breaks to roll on the floor as if I was a piece of pastry dough.
Yeah, I had those ones where you're like, I just need to crack my back. And you're like, oh my God, that was amazing.
I sound like a glow stick every day now. I should probably get it out.
Glow stick? I love it. That's actually a very good analogy. I know exactly what you mean. I feel like every time I hop, in fact, probably after this podcast, I'll get up and I'll like have a glow stick moment. Nice. Yeah. So what classes are you taking?
I am taking. Do you want the names or do you want the lingo? Like I should give full names probably.
It's up to you. You can do lingo if you want to do a nice little shameless plug to your classes. Feel free to give the info. But
for sure. So this is the lineup we got. I'm taking 6 classes. I'm taking my biology lab, which is Bio 15L.
Nice.
And that is just a basic GE. And then I'm taking my senior theory class for communication studies, which is Comms 150, mass communication and media theory and effects. Delicious. Love it. I'm obsessed. That's my favorite class right now.
Nice.
I'm also taking sociology of psychology because it's very intriguing. That is Soc 150, by the way. It's very intriguing to just see, like, why do I act the way I act? We've all heard of looking glass self. Like, I'm not who I think I am who you think I am. But it goes so much deeper into concepts like that. It's beautiful.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sociology of psychology.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So is that like the social connections and
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm like trying to make sense of the words.
Right. And I'm also taking my writing intensive, which is criticism in rhetoric and rhetorical criticism. Comms 100B. For all communications majors out there, it's a major staple. It's required.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's an interesting class. I enjoy it. I like critiquing. I love rhetoric. So it's a great time over there. I'm blanking now. What else do I got going? I check my...
I know it's good. We're right before.
I'm taking some marketing classes. There we go.
There you go.
I'm taking 2 marketing classes. I'm taking public relations and business ethics in marketing. And I'm also taking principles of marketing, which is marketing 101 base level, because I just declared my marketing minor. Nice.
That is a very full lineup. I like it. Sounds like you got some really cool stuff you're learning. So you got like the sociology of psychology. I love the name of that. I feel like that would be a band that we could go see, like a punk band, like school related. If anyone over there wants to make a band, you should use that name so I can see your show on Zoom. But
you can take it. We give permission.
Yeah, you can take it. I'll give it to you. Well, you buy us some coffee, then you can have it. But nice. So are all of them virtual? I presume. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know at this point everything's virtual, but are they all virtual? Were they all virtual?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Has that been, I guess it's a straight up question. Has it been a bummer to not be on campus? I know some of the team, we kind of met up for some work last week, but other than that, how's it been not being on campus, yet still kind of going through the semester and stuff?
2 words, Chris. It's disgusting.
I can agree.
And that sounds really aggressive.
Yes.
But when you think about it, college isn't just the classes you take.
Yes.
We're exhausted because all we have is work and no play. College is walking to and from class and seeing 30 people you know, or it's stopping at the random throw a pie in a Greek boy's face table, you know? It's all these things that go into play that give you these little relief moments.
Yes. Yeah.
And not having that and just having class after class, after, you know, meeting after meeting, it's not fulfilling in the way that a college experience should be. I'm lucky because I genuinely enjoy what I study.
Yeah.
And I love it. So I'm having a good time doing that. But not having the opportunities to engage socially, do goofy things on campus, and all of those little moments like eating or drinking at the Grumpy Mule, some coffee.
Going up to class early and doing that little chit chat with folks before the lecture starts.
Exactly. Talking to professors in person while you have their attention before classes begin. All those things out the window. Dropping your hydro flask awkwardly and ruining the lecture. Also out the window, and it's all very disappointing, genuinely. So not being on campus, Stingers down for
I'm gonna give us. I know we're just gonna be an audio only edition, but Stingers down. We'll do it for in here. I dropped my hydro flask down the stairwell in Sequoia, and it like straight up was like a cartoon, like boom, 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 and everyone's like studying for exams. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It was me.
My favorite part is that nobody bothered to stop the hydro from rolling. They were like, well, let's see it.
Well, you know, because it's interesting, but they're like, I still got to study for this exam, though. So, hey, man.
You know who I think enjoyed it the most? The physics students.
Probably.
They were like, look at it. It's gaining momentum. They brought out their cameras. They recorded it.
Or they hated it because of that. They're like, oh, my God, I don't need reminders of physics. There was probably one who loved it and one who hated it. And then
Guaranteed.
Debated it after that.
You know, the poor stairs in Sequoia Hall have been through it all. Genuinely.
Yes, they have.
I've seen people fall down them. I've heard stories of people vomiting down them. I've seen people drop
them.
Down them. Yes, down them.
We don't have to go into detail into that, but
we're not gonna. Yeah. Those stairs, they got more secrets than Carter's got pills.
I could believe that. Those stairs have seen some brutal times. And and
you know
even those
tears. You know how many tears those stairs have probably caught over the years.
Oh my God! How many disappointed students have walked down those stairs?
Disappointed students. Me, I did the parade of disappointment.
I've done the walk of defeat of
after an exam. We've all done it. Those stairs.
You're like, I got 5 flights of shame right now.
5 flights of shame.
Chemistry department, I love you. And I miss you. But yeah, no, it's been, I still even miss those stairs. It's been rough not being on campus and seeing everybody. Like I even had like a once a week lab that I'd go to, and you know, there was like 10 of us in the lab, so it was very cool seeing the students in there. You know, we definitely became like a real tight-knit group, even with the social distancing, because we're like, oh my God, people. But it's like you show up to campus, and I'm sure you might have seen this last week, but it's like a ghost town. Like I'd roll up and it was like, oh, let me just drive up to the ticket thing and drive down to the bottom floor, walking through campus. And it just, I really miss seeing people. I miss seeing those 30 folks that you do know. I miss seeing like the 200 folks you don't know, and just like people watching.
They're my favorite. Let me tell you why. They're my favorite. I tell people this all the time.
Shout out to the strangers.
You will be able to tell the time of day based off of who you see when you're walking to a class. I know I'm late if I see the guy who just gets out of his class at 11:45. But I know I'm on time when I'm walking next to the girl who just gets out of CRJ2, and you know, like
the girl with the purple hat.
Measure. And you notice that when you don't see people, you're like, oh, I'm really late. I don't know any of you. Because you begin to see these people, and they become your walking buddies. And I literally used to wave at these people or smile at these people. And I don't know their names. But I knew them because we walked together at the same time on those days of the week.
You had a pathway bond.
Straight up.
Nice. Yeah, no, I remember, like, I missed the, what did I call it? The tide of people, you know, because I swear, like, all the classes are synchronized, which, you know, makes sense. But, like, you know, you get that moment when everyone gets out of class And it reminds me of just watching like the tide of a river, like over those time lapse videos, and you
Oh,
just see like
100%. If
nobody's
somebody did
walking.
an aerial view, imagine the
Yes.
beauty in a video of an aerial view, like
Oh
with
man.
a 2 hour time span on like a Thursday.
And you just like wrap it through. Just do it for like a whole week's time.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Yeah, because you like that's when you really know you're late is when you're going to the class and nobody else is on campus and you're like, oh no, this is a
Yeah.
bad sign. All the squirrels are just looking at you like, bro, you are late right now.
No,
Um,
right? When the squirrels know too.
yeah. You get that one janitor who's like, hey
They
man,
judge.
yeah. those squirrels are very judgy. I do miss the squirrel. I miss the turkeys, I think, the most.
I miss the
Uh,
turkeys for the entertainment. I've never approached one, nor will I ever, because they're aggressive sometimes. But
yeah,
they like
yeah.
to fight each other and
You
follow
really
each other's
shouldn't
lead.
approach them. I mean, you can take a picture, but yeah, you should let them do turkey stuff. I do miss seeing them though. But yeah, I miss a lot of campus.
You know,
It's
you
been
want to hear a
sad.
funny story? And I swear to God, this happened. I was driving on campus about 2 weeks ago to
Uh
pick up some things, and a bunch of turkeys crossed the road over by the dorms, in between the gravel lot and the main lot, and they wouldn't
yeah,
let me go. They gridlocked me, swear, around the front end
yeah.
of my
They're doing a
car. There was
sideshow.
like five of them, with the leader in the front, and then they got like two on each side, like a little pilot formation.
Yeah.
And there was cars behind me, and they started honking, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
what do you want
god.
me to do?
You know,
I'm gonna let them pass.
yeah, I've actually been in that same situation. Not, I guess not exactly because I wasn't the lead car, but I was like two or three behind, and it was like that 4 o'clock hour when everyone's getting out of class. I had work at ARC, so like 7 miles down Fair Oaks, and I'm like, oh my god, turkeys, you guys got to move, and they're just like, hey man, like they're walking like the
No,
student.
literally, you'll inch
Yeah,
towards it, and it'll walk up to the window as if it's taking your order at In and Out. That's
dude,
what happened to
delicious.
me.
Yeah, I
Walked
wish they.
right up to
Yeah.
my window. I had to roll it up.
Yeah, no, and I think like they ended up we just kind of like hung out and waited for the turkeys to move along. I like ended up calling my boss. I was like, "Hey man, I might be late. There are turkeys in the road. This is a turkey related incident. Need to remind you that I'm going to Sac State right now." They understood. They understood. They understood. So no, I'm glad to hear that your semester is going on well. As I kick my microphone, I'm still working on microphone operations here. But no, that's good that your semester is going well. I've been hearing mixed results overall, I think, with folks and their semesters, which, as you mentioned, I think really depends on what you're studying. It sounds like you're kind of lucky in that a lot of your classes right now are something very pertaining to your major, which I know like my best semesters are ones where I'm doing all chemistry. It's like, hey, but yeah, I know some folks have been having like weird issues with like either it's just a class that they just don't know about, or just like weird issues with professors and stuff like that.
That's something I've noticed too. I
Yeah.
got lucky with my professors, but I know a lot of people whose professors aren't being very forgiving this semester or considerate, nor are they
Yes.
accommodating. And that is awkward because I've never had that experience at Sac State. And it's unfortunate that people are going through that.
Yeah, I had a professor last semester who a fight broke out in class. A fight, I guess, quote unquote, because it's on Zoom, but like a verbal argument broke out in class. For the life of me, can't remember. It was something frivolous and big picture pointless to argue about, but these two girls were like getting into it, like yelling at each other. And then I'm like looking at the professor's portrait, like, at what point are you gonna break this up? And then like he watched it go for like a good minute and was like, this seems like a good time to mute them. And the whole class is just sitting there like, well, okay, I guess we're just gonna have to go through this. So I've had moments like that where you're like, I think the professors just aren't used to the Zoom environment, or like, how should I take control? Which is understandable. I don't need to be like, hey, they should know Zoom better. None of us expected this, except for the conspiracy theorists. They expected this.
No, right? They really got what they wanted this year.
Yeah.
All conspiracy theories have pretty much come to fruition this year.
Just about. I'm waiting for like that volcano to open up in the middle of LA, like that movie. you
Swallow
know,
him.
just opens up in the La Brea Tar Pits, and everyone's just like, all right, it's going down. Everyone gets A's. No, like my semester's been going pretty good. I definitely don't have as full of a schedule as you do. I'm only taking a very modest 6 units. I'm kind of down at that end of the line. End of the line is my degree. What'd you say?
You're living large.
I am living large. I'm at that point in my degree where like I only need like X amount of classes, so I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to take 2 this semester and 2 next semester. They're like those crazy labs that only have like 10 people a pop. So it's the science life. But I know even with those 2 classes and that being chemistry, it has been exhausting some days. You go through. Have you had like a Zoom? Are all yours synchronous or are they asynchronous?
So I have 2 classes that are synchronous and everything else is asynchronous. But 2 of them were supposed to be synchronous as well. And the professors were like, never mind.
Which one do you prefer?
I prefer synchronous.
Yeah.
Give me what I pay for.
Give me what I pay for.
I can check out a book from the library for free and read it for free. Lecture. Give me lectures.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm back and forth on it. I love the synchronous for the interaction with the professor. Because like we said earlier, like that's a big part of it for me. I love getting that good relationship with my professors. I love busting a joke out and like throwing off their game in the middle of a lecture. I call that always like a win in my book. I'm like, yes, tears of victory. And you just can't do that over Zoom. But I do like the synchronous, but at the same time, the asynchronous is kind of nice because you can kind of just like, all right, let me just watch this. And oh man, I love watching Zoom through at like double speed. You're like, I wish I had a remote in real life because that's like, oh, this is the ideal lecture. It's just like, hey, can we drink like 2 pots of coffee and speed this up a little bit? That'd be great. So I'm kind of back and forth. Like
I'll say,
I like,
the one beautiful thing that did come from this though is similar to what you just said. I have a professor who posts his lectures. We're asynchronous now, but he just posts his lectures, and he did it similar to our format. How he's just talking and presenting, getting straight to the point. We're cutting out all the little jibber jabber and randomness and the stopping and starting, and you're getting to the point, and that's beautiful. That is so beautiful to just listen through. His lectures are only 34 minutes long usually because he gets straight to the point. That's an hour, 15-minute class that has now gotten straight to the point and we're done in 34 minutes. And that's not a coincidence.
See, and that's kind of cool. And then you can go back and rewatch it.
And that's literally what I do. I watch it multiple times a week because it's like, I got the time. I walk with it. Like I literally listen to it as if it was a podcast and take a little stroll outside.
Yeah. Yeah, like I feel like I don't take many notes during synchronous. Like I feel like I'm there and like I pay attention, don't get me wrong. But I feel like it's more like I'm like, hey, hanging out, and then later on I'll get out and I'm like, man, what are we talking about again? And then I have to go back through and like watch it a good couple times. But it's definitely been an interesting, I really miss sitting in class. I don't mean to make this sound all depressing. But yeah, it's been interesting adapting to it. I think I do prefer the asynchronous. I don't know. It's hard. I just like being able to go back and rewatch it most of the time. Sorry, I didn't know if you were typing or something.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
I heard my roommate come and I'm like, ask Alexa how much time is left on the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, so we are still awaiting news on the pie. It's like election news.
Delivery. No, it's like a delivery of a baby. Like I'm in the waiting room and I'm waiting.
We're in the waiting room and it's like some banter where like doctor comes out.
How many centimeters are we dilated? I'm trying to know.
A chef comes out and he's like, the pie is almost ready.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And then he's like, it's a pie, and I clap and I cheer.
Suspenseful pie news. So Sage, I know you do a lot of like really cool DJ type work. I remember over the summer you were talking about doing mixing. I like that. Very, very cool. I do. So tell me about that. So what do you do overall? Because I know I've even seen you in a couple of the school videos. I'll be like, that's Sage, I know her. So first off, it's cool that you're I love all that. So, but fill me in. Tell me about it. Tell me about your DJing.
So I started DJing. Oh, excuse that. So I have an update on the pie here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. I'll play
We're all
suspenseful
good.
music. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. The pie is out. The pies have been baked,
The
everybody.
pies have been baked. It is official.
Seamlessly.
The
Yeah.
pies have been baked. We can stand down to from DEFCON 5. Pies are good.
Exactly.
Pies are good.
Exactly. All right. Now back to
And
DJing
back to
and
DJing.
telling y'all all about that. So I started DJing
Uh-huh.
about 3 years ago. I joined KSSU, which is Sac State Student Run Radio, where you can be yourself. And I pulled up there on the spot, and I was like, I heard you teach people how to DJ. I want to learn. And their promotions director, David, said, yeah, I got you. I can teach you that. And he was teaching me on this deck called the Newmark Mix 3. And I was checking it out, and I was learning, and I was getting familiar with it. And I was like, wow, I need to get one of these. And he's like, well, I'm selling it. And I was like, how much? And he said 110. And I was like, here you go. Thank you for my new DJ deck. So, and so I went home and learned, like,
yeah, you kind
taught me
of like,
basics,
yeah.
and I would watch hours of YouTube videos, and I would just like practice and practice and practice. And then eventually KSC was like, hey, we get offered to do remote gigs sometimes where we just go out there and DJ. Do you want to help out with that?
Yeah.
And I was like, boy, do I. Yeah, put me in, coach. So I'd go out with there. And I went there to just like help them with setup.
Uh-huh.
And David was DJing, and he looked at me and he's like, "Do you wanna spin some a little bit?" Yeah. I was like, "Whoa, relax! I don't know what I'm saying."
It was like the pop concerts. You're like, ah!
Literally that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then eventually he's like, "No, you got it." And so I just hopped on and I started playing, and it literally just started from there. And then my friends would be like, "Hey, can you DJ this event for me? Can you DJ this and that?" I DJ'd the last orientation end of year party.
Awesome.
So the year prior to 2019, and that was fun. I would do gigs like that for my friends for free, but for the public, they started asking too, and I was like, oh, this is new. And I would charge, and so I started getting paid to be a DJ. And I DJ'd a private event in Auburn at a private airport for this like fundraiser event. They hired me, and then I was doing a favor for my friend once at Sac State, and I DJ'd this little Pink event. And Pink is that brand by Victoria's Secret, and they have campus representatives.
Gotcha.
And so I was just doing that. And then they were like, oh, we loved you. Can you do it for us in store? We're having an in-store event. Can you? And I was like, oh my God, DJing at the Pink store in Arden Mall. And I was like, yeah. And so I did it. We did the event. And afterwards, this dude comes up to me, this man. And he goes, hi, I really liked your set tonight. That was really good. I'm the store manager. Do you mind if I keep your phone number so that every time we need a DJ, we can contact you? And
as a matter of fact, go for it.
Yeah, it was like Mr. Krabs, like the little eyes.
The little muddy dollar symbols, like flashing.
Yeah. And so I was super excited. And I was like, of course. And so then I kind of became the unofficial DJ of Pink at Arden Fair Mall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then coronavirus happened. And immediately when things got shut down, I canceled all the gigs. Yeah. All gigs I had a pretty booked summer, but obviously either they were canceling their gigs or I was going to cancel on them, which I had to do to a few people who wouldn't cancel their gigs.
I had, hey, something's got to give you.
I was like, sorry, I like my life more than I like money.
You could do the dead mouse and just show up with like a giant face mask and be like, I'm safe.
People were like, one client said, well, we'll put you in a bubble, like people won't be around you, and they didn't mean a literal bubble.
Oh man,
like
I'm kind of excited. I was like, why did you do it? That sounds cool.
But Chris, tell me what DJ ever genuinely gets roped off where people don't bother them behind the rope? Yeah, somebody always finds a way to get behind the rope.
You're like, you better have one heck of a security team ready to
I need security detail. No, so I said no, because I value my safety and everybody else's safety more than anything else. Yeah. And it gives me a chance to like work on my craft, and that's beautiful.
No, and I presume much of this was kind of, when cancellations were happening was kind of earlier in the pandemic when...
No, well, yes and no.
Versus like, it was last week or something.
So I had one client who was having a bridal shower. And that was supposed to happen on Easter Day. And
okay, yeah.
the county found out about it and shut it down leading up to Easter. But then in like July, they reached out again and said, "Hey, it's back on.
They're
Are you
like,
ready?" And I
we're
was like,
going
"No."
again. You're like, no,
No,
not
literally.
that.
Because like I would have been more likely to do it back in April than I was going to be in July. So I said no.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I mean, that sucks. That's a crazy story though. Like your evolution of becoming the DJ, getting the deck, and then kind of working your way into the Mrs. Pink DJ. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a title for that. But no, that's pretty cool. It's unfortunate they've had to cancel the events. I mean, totally makes sense with the pandemic and everything. So you said you've been working on your craft. So you've been like practicing doing just kind of like the mixing and the technique, if you will. Check.
The technique and overall just listening to more music. The thing is, I'm not saying that everybody can DJ, but what makes a DJ a good DJ in contrast to an okay DJ is their music knowledge and just having such a wide ranged music experience. So I am every day listening to new music. Even if I don't like the song at first, I'll keep listening because you get gigs where people want different types of music played.
And you're like, I know just the song.
And so the biggest part of this whole growing my craft is me honing in on varieties of music. And that's been a bunch of fun. Gotcha.
What do you, you just go to like, I don't know, like Spotify or YouTube and just try to look up new stuff? Like, where do you go to?
Spotify. They're my
music?
Main.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you try to like, I don't know, do you kind of know what you're looking for when you're checking out some new music, or you just like find something random?
Yeah, no, I sometimes know, sometimes I have an idea. So if I know, for example, I know that Ariana Grande just released an album. I'm going to go listen to that album in its entirety. But sometimes I know an idea of what I want. For example, if I want Arabic music, I'll just look for Arabic music in general.
Something in that category and then start digesting it.
Yeah. And then I'll rabbit hole, but it just depends. But I think that the main like idea that I usually go with is just vibing out like with whatever I'm feeling. So it's like, okay, I want to listen to new pop. I'll literally just go on Spotify and search top pop.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's a great way to like figure out some songs, especially that you're like, oh, I didn't know, like I didn't think I would have discovered this otherwise if it didn't just hadn't like just shown up in the playlist type deal.
Yeah, I know. Many songs. So many songs. And then, you know, my favorite part about that is if I'm DJing a gig and then I try to play the song and the audience hates it, and you can feel that energy right away.
You're like, all right. Like, you can just see the thumbs down appearing over them. You're like, okay, never mind. Yeah.
You can feel the emotion.
Backtrack. We're going to rewind and go to the next one.
So that's why whenever I play a new song, I have a well-known, very popular song on standby in case things go south, and then we do a quick switch.
Nice. That's very smart. Yeah, it makes sense. Do you have like, do you always have like a good backup song? Do you have like the same backup song where you're like, okay, when in doubt, start playing like Yellow Submarine or something like that?
No, it depends on the audience. If we're going with a more urban audience, I usually play Twerk by City Girls as my backup song.
Fair enough. Okay, nice.
If I'm going for like an older audience, like people call them boomers, I have Guns N' Roses on standby. Sweet Child of Mine is ready to go in rotation. If I'm in with
I'm picturing like a break, in case of emergency, break glass, and there's just like this button over like a track, and you just like break it, and suddenly Sweet Child of Mine.
Literally. And then if it's like a pop crowd, my go-to is always like Born This Way by Lady Gaga as the saver song.
Nice. I think that's very thought out. I like it.
Oh, very. You gotta be.
Oh no, totally. Yeah, I'm not saying you can be. Like, that's cool. I love that approach, and I definitely agree with you in the idea of like what makes a good, you know, how do you judge the goodness of a DJ? That'd be a cool book title, by the way. Goodness of a DJ. You can take that for free, but it would definitely be that music knowledge, because especially if it's something like, oh yeah, just knowing a situation, knowing the type of folks, and going, okay, I know some tracks would go well for this, or even if it's just something that's like, I don't know, face value as like, hey, can you play this song? And you're like, yes, because I know that song versus like, I don't even know that song.
Yeah.
Can you pull it up on YouTube real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So do you run, I presume you must run like digital tracks then, or do you do like physical,
All
like
digital.
just all digital?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not cool enough to get the vinyl. I just haven't gotten
Yeah,
into it yet. Digital's easier to transport.
totally.
Like long
Yeah.
story short,
Yeah.
it's just
You don't want to
installing
get
my
those like
laptop.
crates of records and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not a crate hauler yet. So I have it all digital.
yeah. I don't know. It'd be kind of a cool time to start getting into the disc DJing. I know Miriam a couple episodes ago was talking about her crazy records collection. Was getting me into that. And I was like, man, it's dope.
You want to know what's funny about? Did she tell you that she started collecting all these records, but never had a record player?
I think she mentioned something like that.
And then,
Because
so last year for Christmas, I bought her the record player. Because we'd go to these stores and she'd buy all these records, and I'm like, bro, what are you
like,
gonna
do
play
you
it
have
on?
a player for these?
And she always goes, well, someday I'm gonna get a record player. And she still hadn't this time last year. And I was like, all right, that's enough. So
You're
I got
like,
her the record player.
news for you, someday is actually coming up.
Right?
Use your record player. No, that's cool. Yeah, no, so that's cool. So you have like one of those, because I've seen them before. It's been a while because I definitely used to do more commercial recording type stuff back in the day. But so you have like one of those decks with like this, forgetting all the terms right now.
No,
It's
I
like
know.
the discs on it type deal. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
I always thought when I was younger that they were called like scratching decks or something, or like DJ decks, but really they call them DJ controllers, which isn't as exciting. So we can call them decks.
It makes it sound like you're not actually doing DJing or something.
Right? It
like
sounds
you're
like I'm
playing,
gaming.
yeah, like I'm playing
Fortnite
DJ Hero or something. Like,
and you know what's crazy is that I used to play DJ Hero so much.
Hey, there's got to be beginning somewhere.
Right? That was the start. That was the genesis.
What's your favorite type of music to mix? If you have a favorite type.
Rap music.
Rap music? Why?
And this is why. It's because if you got an 808 or you have any general rap beat, it's been sampled 2 million times in 2 million other songs, and it seems together so nicely.
It's true.
And
that's a good point.
A bunch of fun. Pop has the issue with keys a lot, and like the difference in key, and you can't switch to a new key, you know, because it has that like little.
Like, you'll hear that.
Yeah, you'll hear the dissonance
difference between them. Yeah, dissonance is a good word for it.
If I have a little boom bap beat, it's so simple to just whoop, we're on to the next one. You know.
Now, do you try to mix songs together that you know come from the same beat? Because like I know, cool, no, awesome. Because I know like I've been listening to hip hop, and you're like, oh man, this is that same beat from that one song, and then
literally,
you'll be listening to some funk album from back in the day, and you're like, this is the original beat. That's great.
Yes.
Where's Tupac
And that's
at?
my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Every good hip hop song right now, to this day, came from a funk song, and I promise that.
Yes. Or like some old song. Yeah. Like some funk song or some blues song, like something back in the day, and that's super cool. Yeah.
These young cats don't know nothing about that, Chris.
You gotta show them. So do you make albums like with your mixes and stuff, or do you just kind of like make these cool mixes and then just have them ready for when you're doing like DJing and stuff?
No, so I live mix.
Gotcha.
I have some recordings, but if I'm on a gig, I'm a live mix because it's a lot more fun. I always keep some recorded mixes just in case system goes down because it's always good to have.
Yeah.
But I love a live mix.
I mean, I guess a better way, I definitely agree with that. Like, I know if I were going to see a DJ, I would much rather, I mean, what's the point of having a DJ if you just play a recorded mix, I guess? Other than, I guess you have somebody else who's now eating your food. But do you ever record, like, the live mixes you do? Kind of like, oh, this was my... like cool, because it's almost like an art piece. I mean, it is an art piece, not kind of. It's definitely an art piece, especially it's like that live thing. I imagine even if it's the same kind of song or same tracks you're mixing from, each show, like let's say you did 5 shows in a row and using the same tracks. I don't know what situation this would be, but each show I imagine would be a little bit different, just because you're kind of deciding like, oh, I think I'll cut this in, slow it down here. I'm probably not using the right DJing term, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good. good. You're good. The answer to that though is that I don't. And the reason behind that is because it puts an added pressure. As soon as you hit record, it's like forever, forever, you know? And I don't think I can work my nerves through that necessarily.
I can understand
But
that.
I also have a thing where I enjoy the moment that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm recording a song at home, or I mean, recording a set at home,
Yeah.
it's a different vibe because I set out to record a set.
Makes sense.
But if I'm at a show or a gig and I'm like just vibing it out, I want that to be there in that moment forever. Yeah. And I don't necessarily want to like just keep it on a drive somewhere.
Yeah, no, I definitely get what you're saying about that. Yeah, you don't want to make it feel like you're just, just like you said, kind of filling files up rather than
because
as soon as you hit record,
as soon as you hit record, you start double thinking everything you do. And it's like, ooh, do I really want to play this song next? Or do I want to? I
guess it depends on what you do with the recordings, you know, because you don't necessarily have to take them and advertise them. It could just be some cool material that you're like, I don't know. I can imagine like myself, like if I were doing the DJ, I could see myself like possibly going back and like listening to it and being, especially if something cool happened where you're like, whoa, that. I kind of thought of that and that came out really well. I want to go back and listen to that real quick and maybe see if I can like improve on that particular thing, that particular edit or cut or whatnot. But that's cool. So for everyone listening, the moral of that story is if you want to catch Sage's awesome work, you have to catch it live, which means y'all better come out with a vaccine. That's the only way we're getting those shows back.
And when they have a vaccine, throw a party. And then have me come to your party.
Vaccine party. I want to see when the vaccine parties start coming out. Like that.
I would mess with it. It's like a Botox party, but it's for the vaccine.
It's like, you just at the party, everyone's passing around the vaccine. No. Borderline in there. But no, I imagine that would be something that'll start popping out, is not to totally jump topics, but you can start seeing all these celebrations like everyone's vaccinated here, we're just gonna party it out, and then you're gonna start seeing Sage is now DJing the vaccine party.
Straight up.
I'm down, and I cannot wait to for that moment, if just so I could just see you doing your DJ thing again. Have you been thought about doing anything over like Zoom or?
I have done Zoom events. Yeah.
Nice. How
I live streamed on KSSU's Instagram.
What?
That was a blast.
Awesome. Do you do that regularly?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
I think it was for.
I got really excited. Now I'm kind of disappointed again.
When quarantine first started happening and everybody felt the need to fill the void with entertainment, they asked me to do a set, and I was like, heck yeah! And so I did it. Yeah. And it was a great old time. So I did that. Did some Zoom stuff. So
are you still doing stuff with KSSU, or was that kind of just back during the early on, and you're like, all right, this is like. I don't know. KSSU.
I'm still part of KSSU, but in the virtual format, there's not much to be done. They have their shows running. Yeah. And they stream 24/7 on KSSU.com, Sac State Student Run Radio, where you could be yourself. But
shout out. Yes, I like it. Yep.
I've taken a step back this semester to focus on surviving, and that sounds like a joke, but it's like a real thing. Like,
no, I get that.
I just want to get by
because it's a whole different situation. It's almost like it's almost like a pandemic came around. I was trying to think of like a good example.
It's almost like a pandemic came around, and I couldn't find toilet paper for months.
That was the worst part for the DJing, But yeah, no, I totally understand what you mean by the surviving, because you really have to assess like your daily routine and just, I don't want to say assess your life, but just kind of take a step back and make sure that you're not overloading yourself with the new format and everything's being virtual and stuff. Because like we're saying, that Zoom fatigue is so real. And I can only withstand so many days of Zoom fatigue where I feel like my eyes are going to start kind of like melting. You know what I mean? But that's unfortunate that you're not doing shows now, only because I'm kind of jealous because I never got to see any of those live shows. So, but I totally get it. Do you think you would start doing any digital shows up in the future? Like, I know the semester is kind of coming to a close. We got the next semester coming up. It looks like it's still going to be virtual. Do you think you might or do you have any potential plans for making a digital return in the spring?
Potentially, we never
Maybe
know,
doing there we go.
we don't want to
You will
give
have to
too much
stay
away.
tuned.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're definitely gonna have to stay tuned because you never know what's gonna happen. And I can guarantee
Let's put it
that
this way, folks.
uh,
It's on the table still.
it's on the table.
It's
It's
on the
very much,
table.
it's on the table and it's still hot. Like,
That's all I needed to know.
yeah, the meal isn't finished. It's nowhere near finished.
No, because that would be really cool to check out some stuff. That's, I guess, why I'm also asking about the recording. It'd be cool to, I enjoy some of that. This is for purely selfish reasons because I love music. And yeah, I know, imagine like just being that creative, it must be crazy not being able to have that outlet, have that opportunity to honestly just get back on stage, even if it's not an actual stage, you're just kind of, behind your station. I know working as a tutor for too many years now, but essentially since I've been starting my degree, but that almost kind of feels like a performance role at times. And like I've had semesters where I haven't done that, and like I start going crazy after like a month or two. I'm like, I need to perform.
Yes.
Do
No,
you
I
feel
feel
that?
that, Chris. I
Yeah.
feel that so heavily that you might just see me performing outside of a Walmart or something because
Yeah.
I'm desperate.
Of course, this is two people like right now with microphones up there. We're like,
Right.
we need to perform.
This is performance me. It's not enough. I need more.
Yeah. No, if it's too bad that like the cases are kicking back up again, because that would be a kind of a cool thing to do if like, let's say we were in a spot where cases weren't so bad and we were able to kind of venture back out of our caves again. If we were to do like maybe like a social distancing kind of a outdoor show, maybe when the spring comes around. But nice. So you are in your senior year, you said? Because you're
Yes, sir.
that must be exciting. Are you in your first semester or second semester?
First semester of the senior year. We are
Nice.
finishing spring 2021, baby. Be there, be square. So
nice.
excited.
High five. Me too. So that is awesome to hear. I know it's kind of a way to like coordinate that over Zoom. But no, that is awesome. Are you excited to be? I know it's kind of a weird time to be graduating because it'll possibly, I can't speak for the school for certain, but it might possibly be virtual, similar to how it was last year. So it's kind of a weird situation, right? Because I know that's what like my emotions on it is like, man, I'm so excited to be graduating, putting in all this work up to this moment, and now it's like, oh man, it might just be over Zoom. But are you excited to be graduating?
So excited. This was 4 years in the making. This was 4 years of hard work.
Of course.
You know what's funny is that I'm first gen. I didn't think I was gonna graduate, and it's not because I had bad grades. It's because I thought that when I left high school, I was like, I'll see what Sac State's all about, but I'm probably not gonna stick around. And I stepped on that campus and I fell in love, and now I'm here and I'm about to graduate in a major that I love. Studying something that I love. It's the dopest thing ever, really.
Yeah, no, I love how enthusiastic you are about your major. I always can respect anytime I meet someone like that. This is talking from somebody who could talk about chemistry for hours. So it's like, recognize real, Sage. I get it. That's awesome. No, that is really cool. And I'm glad that you're definitely, it sounds weird, but I'm glad you're graduating in a major that you really enjoy. Hopefully that's what everyone's doing, but I know some folks kind of like, this is kind of just this is what worked for right now. But that's awesome. Do you have any plans for following your graduation besides like a giant map?
Right. My next stop is IKEA. I'm gonna go furniture shopping. No,
I've heard about that grad school.
I'm gonna apply to grad school.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What do you want to do eventually, sort of like down the road, if you have like career-wise?
That's a good question.
No worries if you do not know.
I still don't know what I'm eating for dinner, Chris. I think a career is a really big question.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully it's something pertaining to music and or communications, because that seems to be your definite forte and where your enthusiasm lies. So awesome. So I know it's been a pretty good hour so far. I'm kind of getting a little hungry myself. We've been talking about Thanksgiving and pies. And
We've been talking about food for more than 30% of this episode, and that's why it's going to be the best episode ever.
It will be the best episode. Plus tomorrow we are going to be getting down on food. Not together, but just in the spirit of Thanksgiving. So, oh man, it's going to be such a good time. It's been funny because everyone who's going to be listening to this will be like, man, I already ate Thanksgiving like 2 days ago.
They're going to be so upset that we were even talking about it.
No, but hopefully they'll be eating maybe they'll be eating leftovers. So they'll be like,
yeah,
oh.
If you're listening to this right now and you still have some leftovers in your fridge, pause the episode, go grab some leftovers, heat them up, come back, let's talk about it now.
Eat them, yeah. And then hit up your friends, get some Zoom going. They probably need some connections. But no, that was a good episode, good time having you on here. I don't want to keep you too late because I know you got to eat some dinner. And it is kind of getting somewhat late. I know my room feels like it's getting dark. It's funny because whenever I'm working with someone on Zoom towards the end of the day, you can kind of see the sun go down, and it's the rooms are all bright, and then it ends up just kind of being feels like the Blair Witch Project. And you're like, hey, so lecture's almost done. But no, Sage, it was great having you on. Definitely thank you for finding some time to come on. I know you're a very busy person. Sounds like a pretty good schedule, getting ready to graduate and all that. For everyone listening, definitely hope y'all are having, or hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I want to wish them a good Thanksgiving, but I know they'll be listening to this after Thanksgiving. So I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. And like we said, if you still have some leftovers, come on, go and eat them. Go show them some love. Go eat that turkey. Finish up that pie or else it's going to go bad.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, Chris. I am very thankful for you. I'm thankful for all the people listening, too. I know that it's after Thanksgiving, but I feel like I'm allowed to say I'm thankful for people after Thanksgiving because thankfulness is year-round, baby.
Yeah, especially now. We can't just limit that to one day. We gotta know what we're thankful for. Totally. I am very thankful for. I'm thankful for you too. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm thankful for meeting you. It's been a very cool experience. It's been strange talking to everyone on the podcast, and I really haven't seen a lot of y'all in person in a while.
You know what's funny is that the first time I met you, Chris, you were much, 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 much taller than expected or anticipated. And it was kind of like one of those moments in a cartoon when you walk up to somebody and you go like this, and you put your head up and you tilt up whoa, you're really tall. Because I'm a solid 5'5" on a good day. And
I mean, I was wearing my clown stilts. Yeah, no, I strangely get that a lot, at least within the orientation team, which I guess is funny because it's stuff you wouldn't think about until you only meet people seeing just your face and your shoulders and stuff, and you have no idea how tall they are. For everyone listening, I'm about 12 feet tall.
No, literally.
I can help you with your cat if it's stuck on the roof. Or a
the firemen call him.
Yeah, they're like, how do we get up there, man? And I'm like, well, you gotta have good genes, dude. But no, it was a good episode. I would definitely love to have you come on another time. Maybe
100%. I'm down, Chris.
Maybe when it's not so close to another food holiday, so we're not so hungry and food's on our mind.
Or that could be the thing. I could be the new holiday show regular.
Yeah, we're gonna come on for Christmas, and we're gonna do a whole Christmas dinner episode. It'll be like a mukbang. We'll just eat food.
I'm down with it. We could decorate cookies virtually together.
I'm down. Oh, I'm down, man. See, I always come up with good ideas for the episode at the end of the episode, and I'm like, all right, now we got to redo it. Cut. No, but that'd be great. That'd be a great time. I would love to have you on. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Perfect.
Sounds good. And for everyone listening, do you have any, concluding thoughts before we wrap up? I do my little spiel.
Be thankful. Be safe. Don't think the pandemic's over just because you're over it. Have a great semester.
Yes.
Finish strong.
Yes.
If you're not in school, have a great month. I don't know what to tell you. I'm do great things. Go to Trader Joe's. Try some new cookies or something.
Yes, and make sure to everyone listening that you do all of those things in one day.
One day,
and then post it on Instagram. But no, it was a good time. To everyone listening, as I mentioned, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you got to see some folks. Hope it wasn't too crazy as far as your COVID exposure, but nonetheless, hope you were able to enjoy the holiday. Maybe see some family, talk to some family, because that's what's really important these days. Hope everyone's doing good. And of course, to everyone listening, first off, shout out to KSSU. listen and support Sac State Radio. And to everyone listening, wherever you are, whatever device you may be driving, hopefully you're not watching as well. Enjoy your life, stay positive, and of course, Stingers up.
Always. Stingers up.
Stingers